Hey everybody, did y'all see the season finale of Scandal? Oh, you know we gotta talk about it. Let's get into it. So right off the bat, Jake kills Vanessa's father. We ain't see no funeral. We didn't see Vanessa crying. We didn't see nothing. He's just dead. Okay, Rowan had a plan to take him out so that Vanessa could go ahead and access that inheritance money. And Jake went ahead and knocked him on off. In the next scene, we see Tom, and he comes and tells Cyrus that he found Michael and Ella. And Michael didn't put anything in his name, no car, no house, no nothing. He's trying to be really off the radar. And um and Tom tells Cyrus that Michael has gotten Ella a tutor for her academics, for art and music. In the next scene, we have Cyrus, and he's going to see David, and he propositions him to be the vice president for Vargas. Cyrus really butters him up, and he tells David that he and Vargas are cut from the same cloth, and basically they both wear the white hat. They both really genuinely want what's right for the American people, and that they would make a great fit. So David is now considering it. So over at OPA, they're looking for a vice president for Melly, and they zero in on Governor Wagner. And when they go have a meeting with Governor Wagner, he admits to selling cocaine when he was in college to pay off his student loans. So they felt that he would be a good fit for their campaign because he was open and honest about, his transgressions in the past, and they feel like he would be a good candidate. So the team are going to basically get together and clean up his reputation, get rid of the people who knew that he sold drugs. Well, not get rid of them and kill them, but, kind of pay him off, push him to the side, get him somewhere where it can't surface that he did those things in his past. Then Edison comes to see Olivia, and he tells her Jake's message. And at first, she just kind of brushed it off like, okay, thanks for coming and telling me, bye. And he was like, what's wrong with you? He basically said, look, you have an opportunity to save him, and you should try to go save him. He's looking for a way out. Rowan is using him. Rowan is using him. Go help him like you helped me. But you can tell in her face that she was scared. She's scared to go up against her father. And I don't blame her. Rowan ain't no joke. So Rowan shows up at the Vargas headquarters, and Cyrus goes in to talk to Vargas, and he sees Rowan in there talking to him. So Vargas introduced Cyrus to Eli and tells him that he's going to contribute $30 million to the campaign, and that they should consider Jake as the vice president. So there's this moment when Cyrus is talking to Vargas, and he goes off about why Jake shouldn't be the vice president, how he really don't want to be around Jake because Jake tried to kill his well, no, because Jake killed his husband, and Jake is a snake, and he's just this dirty, grimy person. But then I stopped and thought about it. Cyrus, wasn't you the one that was about to get your husband killed? Like, didn't you sick Charlie out in broad daylight to gun him down because you thought he was gonna cross you? Like, that was you too, Cyrus. I mean, no, you didn't kill him, but you thought about it. Don't act brand new. Then we come to find out that that was just in his head. He really didn't say all those things to Vargas. He basically said, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, we should do that. But in the back of his mind, he doesn't want to do that at all. At all. He does not want to be associated with Rowan, and he definitely doesn't want Rowan running anything in that White House. Crazy, crazy Liz. She gets a whiff that Cyrus came to visit David Rosen. So here she goes, all up on him again. Just, ugh. It makes me nauseous watching them on screen together because she is so gross. And it just hurts me that David is still not strong enough to resist her. What is it about her that he likes so much that he just can't deny her? Like, it's just so gross. That whole scene just made me sick. Ill, ill, ill. Liz, girl, get a life. The only reason why you in here talking to him right now is because you think he's about to get a little power and you want to jump on his coattails. Girl, bye. Then in the next scene, y'all, Fitz is standing in Abby's office and he's reading them papers that Rowan gave her. So now he knows about the abortion that Olivia had. So in his face, you can tell that he's hurt and angry. And Abby's just trying to be like, you know, a part of me wants to believe that Abby was trying to downplay it, like maybe it's not true, but she definitely knew something was about to pop off. Fitz was going to do something. For real, for real. In the next scene, we have Cyrus going to visit Olivia, and he's basically asking her for help against Rowan. And Olivia is basically like, look, I don't know what you expect me to do here. And she asks him, what does he have on you? And so Cyrus tells her about the whole setup that he did for Vargas to look like a hero. And Olivia gets enraged and she talks about, how innocent people died. And girl, Olivia, stop acting like you don't know who Cyrus is. Please stop acting like you haven't been around killers. Please stop acting like you're not a killer yourself. Please stop acting like it's just so left field that Cyrus would do something like this. Like, get over it, deal with it, girl, and move on. Like, why are you getting so huffy? Calm down. So that annoyed me that she got so up in arms about Cyrus doing something like that. Girl, come on. What have you and Cyrus got together and done? Now, granted, there hasn't been too many bodies that y'all have produced together, in plotting something, but still. Come on, it's Cyrus. What you thought? So Cyrus is basically telling her, look, don't you want to get your dad out of the picture so in the end it can be me versus you, the master versus the student. It's funny because there are a lot of master and student moments this season. Um, for instance, you have Cyrus, who is the master, who taught his student Olivia a lot of what she knows about the ins and outs of fixing problems, right? Then you have Olivia, the master, and the student, Abby. But the dynamic between them is a little different because with Cyrus and Olivia, I think Cyrus actually sees Olivia as an equal. But the dynamic between Olivia and Abby, Olivia doesn't see Abby as an equal. And then you have the master, Rowan, and the student, Olivia. And man, oh man, it transpired in this episode. We'll get to it. Millie goes to visit with Fitz because Fitz said that he would say a speech for her. And when Millie read the speech, she felt as though Fitz was speaking too much about himself. Now, keep in mind, Fitz wrote this speech right after he found out about Olivia having that abortion. So he was kind of in his feelings, right? So Melly and Marcus meet up with Fitz at the venue, and Marcus tells her, listen, don't poke him. Just go talk to him. She was like, I'm not going to poke him. And the first words out of her mouth were pokes. And she kept poking until she stabbed him, okay? So so basically, listen, this whole back and forth that they had made me so nervous. There were cameras everywhere, there were microphones everywhere. They were getting ready for this, you know, Melly for president thing, and she was going to introduce her vice president and all of this. And it just made me so nervous because I was like, why are y'all talking so loudly? Number one, it's just echoing all through that stadium. Number two, y'all don't know if these mics are on. Y'all don't know if somebody flipped one of them cameras on just to catch, how the lighting hits and all that stuff. Y'all don't know. And y'all just having this very open, very honest conversation so openly. That made me nervous. And I was like, oh, somebody's going to hear this. Somebody's going to record it. Somebody's going to know that they're getting into it right now. So Millie goes in on him and she tells him that he's selfish and that he didn't even have to work for his presidency, but she's the one who had to work for her presidency. I'm just paraphrasing. And she got there all by herself. Millie, no, you didn't, girl. If Olivia Pope was not in your corner, you wouldn't even be here. What are you talking about? But she's basically acting like she's doing all this by herself, and Fitz never really earned his presidency and blah blah blah. How he's being selfish and he don't listen, and that's part of the problem, and just this whole whatever. They just get into it and go back and forth. Fitz was telling her the reason why I didn't really write this whole speech just about how great you are is because that would bring too much suspicion. Like people would say, why is he saying all of these things now? He was just on the opposing side of Melly 2 minutes ago. That is his ex-wife. He cheated on her multiple times. He had his mistress in the White House with him. Why is he talking so good about Melly? If he felt that good about Melly, then he should have been a better husband to her and they should still be married. Like, what is he doing? This is all a stunt, right? So, in that way, I kind of felt him on that. Yeah, he shouldn't have made the whole speech about, oh, Melly is so great. But I do think that he should have talked about her a little bit in the speech. From what Melly was saying, he didn't even talk about her one time. He was just basically, patting himself on the back for all of the good things that he's done since he's been in the White House. And it's not his moment, it's her moment. So I think that it should have been an even balance, in between. And at the end of the episode, that's basically, what happened. When he went back and rewrote it, that's basically what the speech was about, right? He mixed himself and her. And I thought it came out beautifully. Jake and Olivia meet up. She corners him in a parking lot. And he's looking at her like, girl, what are you doing? You know? And she said, basically, I want to help you get away. So he's like, all right, what's the plan? So all while he's so focused on, what we gonna do, she's trying to explain, look, the last time when I ate your face up like that and I hurt your feelings and I crushed your soul, I really just said that so my father wouldn't kill you. And he's looking at her like, what's the plan? You know, and she keeps trying to explain and he doesn't want to hear her explanation because, she really hurt him. That little speech that she made to him, she broke him down on a whole other level. She hurt him to the bone, to the core. He is in his feelings. He is mad, but she's still trying to let him know, look, everything that I did was for you to make sure you were okay. I'm trying to save you. And this whole term of her trying to save him just made me think, when Olivia was kidnapped, a lot of her fantasies were of Jake coming to rescue her. And so I thought it was very moving that in that moment she was actually trying to save him because he fought so hard to try to save her. And I thought that was a really nice moment that they had. So Olivia tells him, look, just let me know that you understand that I only did this because I was trying to save you. We have to be on the same team when we're against my father. We can't be split. Just tell me that we cool so we can go ahead and get something popping. So he tells her, all right, I believe you. Let's get it rolling. But you need to be coming up with a plan soon. So OPA is sitting around and they're trying to figure out what the plan should be for her to get Jake away from Rowan. And when Olivia and Huck are going back and forth discussing what to do, Huck suggests that she should just walk in there like a gangster and take Jake. And then Olivia was like, well, where we gonna go? Like, you've told me, Huck, that there's nowhere in the world that someone can go to hide from Rowan. He's everywhere. He's got people everywhere. So there's literally no place that I could really take him. So what are you talking about? Go in there and get him like a gangster. No, I'm not doing that. Then Huck just tells her straight up, look, there's no way to defeat command. You have to become command, which is very true because think about it. Even Jake became command and it shut Rowan down for a minute, right? Once OPA gets a plan together, Olivia goes to visit Fitz, and Abby is basically trying to tell her, look, girl, you may not want to go in here and see Fitz right now. You know, he got some things he got to do. He's busy. You know, she's trying to really deflect the situation because in her mind and in my mind too, I thought Fitz was gonna blow up on her. Once Fitz knows that Olivia's there, he tells her to come on in, and they shut the door right in Abby's face. Then Olivia tells Fitz that she wants to put Jake Ballard on the ticket as Melly's vice president. And to her surprise, he says, well, okay. So while they're having this conversation, Fitz tells her that he misses her and it makes her a little uncomfortable, but he says, no, not like that. I just miss talking to you. And he asks her, when we were together, was I a bad listener? And Olivia, she kind of thinks about it. And he apologizes for not being there for her and listening to her because the talk that he had with Melly rung true. He felt that he needed to make it right with Olivia and Melly. So he tells Olivia that he's going to rewrite the speech because Melly asked him to. And she was kind of shocked by that, like, what? I can't believe that you're going to do it just because she asked you to do it. And he was trying to show her, that he has some growth. And as she's leaving, Fitz tells her that he supports her choice. Not like she needed his approval or anything, but he still supports, her decision. And it basically had a double meaning. He was talking about the abortion as well as the decision to make Jake the vice president. Of course, she didn't know that, but you could tell it in his face that he was remorseful that Olivia had to go through that by herself and that he was so wrapped up in what he had going on that he didn't even realize that something so drastic had happened to her. But, I mean, in his defense, she played it off good. She just left the White House and got busy doing something else. Cyrus and Tom are sitting down and they're talking about what they're going to do with this whole Michael situation. And then Tom says that if we kill Michael and get him out of the way, I can keep Ella. And Cyrus just kind of looks at him. And I'm thinking, Tom, ain't nobody finna leave their kids with you. Are you crazy? But I mean, and it almost looked like his feelings was hurt when Cyrus was kind of shooting him down and going, maybe not. Why are your feelings hurt? You're not nobody's dad. You're not ready to be nobody's father. I mean, are you going to be taking good care of her the way Michael is? I don't think so. And Cyrus knows it too. Come on. And Cyrus basically tells him that he really values the relationship that him and Tom have. It's the most open and honest relationship that he's ever had. And he puts more value in that type of relationship than, someone who can just, take care of a home and family and kids and all of that. He basically said He values the cutthroats rather than those who can cut up some sandwiches and feed their kids. Cyrus knows Michael is going to be fine with Ella. Michael loves Ella. He's a good parent to her. He takes care of her. He makes sure that her schoolwork is done. He does her hair. He's just a good parent. And Cyrus could never be that. So here is the big moment in this episode. Oh my goodness, y'all. Olivia goes to get Jake. Rowan and Jake are in the living room and they're watching TV, basically, just chatting it up. And in walks Olivia. She just straight up says, I'm here to get Jake. And Rowan is looking at her like, what? Girl, if you don't get out of here, Jake ain't going nowhere. And she tells Jake, stand up, come on. Jake, let's go. And so Rowan is still looking at her like, girl, what are you doing in here? Jake ain't going nowhere with you. And then she starts talking to Jake and she's like, look, for real, come on. All you have to do is get up and go. We're going to do just what we talked about. Let's get out of here. So Jake is sitting there puzzled. He's shocked that she just walked in here and came for him. But then Jake stands up, right? As if he's getting ready to go. And Rowan pulls out this gun and puts it to Jake's head. Now, immediately, I get nervous because Rowan is crazy. I don't put it past him to blow Jake's brains out. It just made me nervous. So I'm on pins and needles and I'm like, please don't kill him. Please don't let him get shot. Please. So he and Olivia still kind of go back and forth, right? Rowan is telling Olivia, look, you are the one that's in control of this situation. If you're trying to save him, this ain't a good idea to do this because really my finger is not even on the trigger. It's really your finger on the trigger. So if I pull it and he dies, his blood is on your hands while you're trying to be funny. And Olivia still doesn't back down. And she tells him, go ahead, pull the trigger. Go ahead. And now Jake is looking at her like, girl, are you don't be telling him to pull no trigger. Are you crazy? And Olivia is just looking at her dad, and Rowan is looking at her like, girl, you must have lost your mind. You will not come in my house and demand that Jake leave. Who you think you are? So then, y'all, Olivia looks at Jake in his eyes. She took that man's hand, and Rowan looked at Olivia, and he looked at Jake, and he seen the expression in Jake's eyes, and he kind of made this face like, I know you ain't about. I know I didn't see some type of control come over his face. What you about to do? He just had this perplexed look on his face like, oh, wait a minute. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I know that face. I've made that face before. See, I made this same face in front of Jake before, right before he broke. Girl, I know you ain't finna break him. What? Wait a minute. What you doing? Honey, she took his hand and she said, come on, let's go. He won't hurt you. You're his son. He won't shoot you. And Jake still looks nervous, but then it kind of made sense to him. And he kept looking down into Olivia's eyes and he trusted her. And she was looking at him like, look, I got you. Trust me. Come on, let's go. He ain't gonna shoot you. And y'all, Jake walked off with Olivia out the front door. I was so nervous. I was so scared. The look on Rowan's face when they walked out. Y'all, he was livid. If this was cable TV, he would have said all kind of cuss words. I mean, just the look on his face. He was just taken aback. He could not believe that had just happened in his house. She just walked up in there and walked out with Jake. They get outside and they're walking off, and you can tell both of them is just like still shaking, like her lip is quivering and everything, and he's just walking like, whoo, like, oh, I can't believe this just happened, and and he goes, damn, and she goes, damn, right, and I'm sitting at home like, damn. I could not believe it, but I could believe it because in that moment, Olivia became command, right? And I was just, I was blown away. Blown away. Scandal, y'all did that. Yes, Olivia. Olivia, command. You better do it, girl. So after all that drama, in the next scene, they shoot to the conventions, right? You have Melly's convention and Vargas's convention going on, and they're both about to introduce their vice presidents. And we have this moment where Cyrus breaks up with Tom, and he tells Tom that he's gonna let Michael come back home and baby girl come home, and he was basically done with Tom. And Tom, he's going through this whole, oh, don't leave me, don't say that, tell me what I need to do, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, see, Cyrus figured out that the only way that Rowan could have known what he did was because Tom told it. Like, who else was involved? No one. So he understood where Tom's loyalty lied. Next, Olivia and Jake have this moment where he's getting ready to go on stage with Melly, but he's looking like he's not dressed. So Olivia is pushing him to hurry up and get dressed so they can get ready to go out on the stage. And Jake says, what if I don't go out on the stage? What if we just run away together? See, look, here's a picture of this house that we can get and we can just have a normal, regular life. Jake, what is wrong with these men? I don't understand Fitz. I don't understand Jake. How did they not know that Olivia is not bred to be no average chick housewife sitting at home with kids making jam? Like, that's not Olivia. How are they missing this? How are they missing it? So he looks all perplexed when she looks at him like he's crazy, and she's like, put that tie on and let's get on back out there. What are you talking about? I'm not going nowhere. I fought too hard to get to where I am, to give it up just to go stand in the sun with you. Now, I fool with you, right? You my dude and everything. But I'm not going to jeopardize everything that I worked for, everything that I've been through to get here, just to throw it away. Nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. And he basically, huffs and puffs, and he's like, oh, so basically, Rowan was my master, now you are. And she kind of looks at him like, man, if you don't put this tie on and come on out here, so she basically bossed up on him, and he put the tie on and he went on out there with Melly. So Olivia is walking down this hallway by herself, and everything that her dad has been telling her over the years about him wanting her to be his best project, and all the things that he's basically been trying to instill in her, is all coming back to her. About how she wants the power, and she had the White House and she gave it up, and why did she give it up? And he knew that she was going to do everything in her power to get back in that White House. And it's true. She's doing all that she can to get back in that White House. So Rowan is at home pouring himself a glass of wine as he's watching Melly introduce Jake as her vice president. And he says, that's my girl. Y'all, I loved this episode of Scandal. Oh my goodness, it was the season finale, so we have to wait all the way until next year before we pick it back up. But it's going to be so interesting to see Cyrus and Olivia go at it. It's going to be great. It's going to be good TV. I don't know which side is going to win, for real, because I don't know. It could really go either way. So I hope you guys have enjoyed these few reviews of Scandal. See you guys next time.